Welcome to section 16.8. This is the 172nd session of the CISSP exam prep series. In this session, we'll cover how to keep systems patched and vulnerabilities in check. We'll answer several questions. How do patch and vulnerability management work together? Which systems actually need patching? What are the steps of good patch management? What is vulnerability management and residual risk? How do vulnerability scans help? And what is the common naming dictionary for flaws? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because most breaches exploit a hole that already had a fix. Picture a company that read about a critical flaw, had a patch sitting available for months, and still got compromised through that exact gap. It happens constantly. Patch and vulnerability management are the twin routines that keep known weaknesses from becoming your next incident. One closes the holes, the other keeps checking that they stayed closed. So how do patch and vulnerability management work together? They are two halves of one defense against known flaws. Bugs and vulnerabilities turn up constantly in operating systems and applications, and vendors respond by writing and testing patches. Patch management makes sure those fixes actually get applied. Vulnerability management keeps verifying that your systems are not exposed to known threats. Notice how naturally they split. One team keeps systems patched, and a separate team confirms the patching worked. That is separation of duties in action, a built-in check and balance. Which systems actually need patching? Far more than just your servers and workstations. Anything running an operating system qualifies, and that list is long. Routers, switches, firewalls, security appliances, even printers, all run software that can carry flaws. Then there are embedded systems, the small computers baked into cameras, smart televisions, appliances, vehicles, and medical devices, often grouped under the Internet of Things. These are notorious blind spots. Many owners never patch them, and many vendors never even release patches, which is exactly why huge armies of hijacked devices have been marshaled into attacks. And if you allow phones and tablets on your network, manage their patches too, typically through mobile device management. What are the steps of good patch management? A disciplined pipeline from release to verification. First, evaluate each patch to see whether it even applies to your systems, since a fix for one platform may be irrelevant to another. Second, test it on an isolated, non-production machine, because a bad patch can send a system into an endless reboot loop, and you would rather learn that on one box than 1,000. Third, approve the tested patch, often routing it through your change management process. Fourth, deploy it, usually with automated tools. And fifth, verify it's stuck, auditing systems to confirm they are actually patched. Smaller shops may just auto-approve everything, but larger ones take control to avoid outages. Why is timing such a weak point? Because attackers move faster than most patching teams. Many vendors release patches on a predictable monthly schedule, which helps administrators plan their testing. But that predictability cuts both ways. Attackers reverse engineer each new patch to discover the very flaw it fixes, then build an exploit, and attacks can begin within a day of release. Worse, plenty of systems stay unpatched for weeks, months, even years, and attackers happily exploit them long after the fix existed. Occasionally, a flaw is severe enough that a vendor pushes an emergency patch off the normal schedule. Speed on your side is the whole game. What is vulnerability management and residual risk? Vulnerability management is the ongoing work of finding flaws, judging them, and reducing the ones that matter most. You cannot eliminate every vulnerability any more than you can eliminate all risk, so you focus on the biggest exposures. And here is a key idea. After you apply a control, whatever risk remains is residual risk. Management can consciously choose to accept that leftover risk rather than spend more to chase it. If a minor fix would break an important application, leadership may decide to live with the flaw for now. When management accepts a risk, management owns any resulting loss. How do vulnerability scans help? They automatically hunt for known weaknesses across your systems and networks. A scanner enumerates the flaws it finds, like missing patches or weak passwords, and produces a report recommending fixes. The twist is that attackers run the very same kind of tools, looking for the same holes to exploit, so your goal is to find and fix them first. But a scan alone changes nothing. Someone still has to act on the report and apply the patches. and expect some noise. If you have accepted a risk instead of fixing it, the scanner will keep flagging that vulnerability every time, even though you already made a deliberate decision about it. So what is the common naming dictionary for flaws? It is a shared catalogue that gives every known vulnerability a single standard identifier. Instead of everyone inventing their own names, tools, and teams all point to the same entry, which lets patch and vulnerability scanners speak one language. This common reference is maintained by a non-profit research organisation, and it saves every security vendor from reinventing a naming scheme. The real payoff is coordination. When a flaw has one agreed identifier, everyone from the scanner to the patch tool to the analyst is talking about exactly the same thing. So let's bring it together. Patch and vulnerability management are two halves of one defense, and splitting them across teams creates a natural check and balance. Patching reaches far beyond servers, to infrastructure, embedded devices, and mobiles. Good patching runs evaluate, test, approve, deploy, and verify, because attackers weaponize fixes within a day. Vulnerability management finds and prioritizes flaws, leaving residual risk that management consciously accepts and owns. Scans hunt weaknesses but only help if you act, and a common naming dictionary lets every tool speak the same language. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on rucloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.